Welcome back to a new post today, and let's continue with the prelims bits for 2025. Let's get into day 8, that is for May 27th. I'm sorry. And the very first issue to be tracked is with regard to the criteria that IMD uses with the declaration of the onset of monsoon in India. So we know that the onset of the monsoon happens in Kerala and also before that in Andaman and Nicobar Islands as well. So for the criteria that the IMD uses for declaring the onset of monsoon in India, welcoming it from Kerala, is that first of all there is a 3-set criteria. Rainfall over 14 stations of Kerala and major neighboring countries should be 2.5 millimeters and above for 2 consecutive days. The outgoing long wave radiation should be 200. The depth of the westerly winds should be 600 meters per hour, and the westerly wind should prevail at 4.5 kilometers height from the atmosphere. So this is the criteria that is used by ID for declaring the onset of monsoon in India. Then at number 2 is Rudra M2 air to surface missile indigenously developed by DRDO. Now let me tell you that a missile is an object thrown or projected usually so as to strike something at a distance, like stones, artillery, shells, bullets, rockets, etc. Now India successfully test fired the Rudra air to surface missile from the Sukhoi 30 fighter jet aircraft of the Indian Air Force off the coast of Odisha, and the Defence Ministry said that it met all the trial objectives and the flight test was successful. It is an indigenously developed solid propelled air launch missile system meant for air to surface role to neutralize several types of enemy assets. A number of state-of-art indigenous technologies have been developed by DRDO into this, and they are going to be incorporated into the Indian Armed Forces. At number 3 is the silent period for the election. So is it statutory? Yes, the silent period is statutory under the Representation of People Act. So as per the existing rules, the political parties are required to enter into a silent period 48 hours prior to the voting ends. Now election silence, as it is called, or blackout period, pre-election silence, electoral silence, campaign silence is a ban on political campaigning or media coverage of a general election before and during that election period. Now it is mentioned in section 126 of the Representation of People Act, which has provisions for prohibiting public meetings during a period of 48 hours ending with the hour fixed for conclusion of the poll. Now while section 1626A places restrictions on publication and dissemination of exit polls also before the voting ends. The logic behind this is that the discussion about the surveys ahead of the polling or the voting can influence the people. Now the silent period, however, allows the election authorities and the political parties to take care of the logistics while the poll officials work to ensure that all the arrangements are in place to ensure fair and peaceful fashion of political parties and polls. The political parties and the cadres are firm to get the arrangements for the people to vote, and also in summation, parties and candidates in the constituencies that are under the silence zone can reach the voters through social media. Links can be shared for the political parties being held outside their zones. Candidates can deliver customized messages to the target group, put out advertisements, generate automated calls, and much more, and all this remains outside the realm of the existing laws. And at number 4 is Kumartuli in Kolkata. It is very famous for the age-old tradition of molding clay Durga for the Durga Puja, and Durga Puja has been inscribed in the UNESCO list of intangible heritage site of 2022. Durga Puja is one of the number of elements of intangible heritage sites from India. Just got the tag in 2021, and lately is the Garba of Gujarat. The whole list consists of the Kumbh Mela, Yoga, Tanteras of Jandiala, that is the brass ware of Punjab, Sankirtana, which is a ritual singing dancing of Manipur, the Buddhist chanting of Ladakh, the Chow dance, Kalibelia dance of Rajasthan, Mudiyattu theatre and dance drama of Kerala, Ram Leela Vedic chanting, and Kutiyattam being the first one to be inscribed in the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage Site in 2008. So what exactly is a cultural heritage site? Now, under UNESCO, her culture, this is at number 5. Cultural heritage does not end with only monuments or collection of objects. It also includes traditions or living expressions inherited from our ancestors and passed down to our descendants, such as oral traditions, performing arts, social practices, rituals, festive events, knowledge and practices concerning nature, and universe of knowledge and skills to produce traditional crafts. Now, intangible cultural heritage is cultural heritage along with traditional, contemporary and living at the same time. It is inclusive, that we share, as it shares many expressions of the intangible heritage, the heritage that are practiced by all. It is representative, that is, it is representative of many communities, generations, knowledge, skills, customs, etc. And it is community based. So the intangible cultural heritage can only be a heritage if it is recognized as such by communities, groups or individuals that create, maintain and transmit this. Without the recognition, nobody else can decide for them that a given expression or a practice is the heritage. Now, this is according to the UNESCO website. Now, at number 6 is UNESCO. So, UNESCO is a specialized agency of the United Nations aimed at promoting world peace and security through international cooperation in education, arts, science and culture. It has 194 member states and 12 associate members, as well as partners in non-governmental organizations, intergovernmental organizations and private sector. It has its headquarters in France, Paris, and has 53 regional offices and 199 national commissions. And lastly, what exactly is a World Heritage Site? World Heritage Sites are landmark areas with legal protection now by an international convention that is administered by the UNESCO for having cultural, historical and scientific significance. The sites are judged to contain cultural, natural heritage around the world, considered to be of outstanding value to humanity. The World Heritage Site may signify accomplishment of the humanity and serves as an evidence of our intellectual history on the planet, or it might be a great place of natural beauty. As of 2024, a total 1,199 World Heritage Sites, that is 933 cultural, 227 natural, 39 mixed cultural heritage properties exist across 168 countries. There are 59 selected areas. Italy has the most heritage sites, followed by China, France, Germany, all 57, 52 each. Now, the sites are demarcated by the UNESCO as protected zones, and this list is maintained by the International World Heritage Program that is administered by the UNESCO World Heritage Committee, composed of 21 state parties. Now, the program catalogues the names, the conservation sites of the cultural importance of common heritage and community of humanity. Finally, to be considered, the properties must be under some form of state protection or conservation and must be nominated by a host country. So this is, and the very last one is, recently Belarus now halted its participation to the Treaty on Conventional Armed Forces in Europe. So this is another big important scheme. And a very small tidbit here, that is the Amrit scheme for urban development, which aims to improve tapped water drinking infrastructure in the urban areas, with urbanization being going to be about 50% by 2047, and it was launched in 2015 by the NDA government. So this is all for day 8 for May 27th for your prelims 2025. If you did, please do like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video, and I shall see you in another new important post. Until then, it's very happy learning.